Get in, nerds. We are playing Victoria 3. We are still working on getting to the point where we can start doing these universities, but we're nearly there. We're a little bit short on cash, but that shouldn't be too much of a problem. Although I am about to build two things that cost money, so you know, we'll deal with it. It's a process. It's a process. Thinking about right. I've got some naval bases queued in. I think I'll queue those in after the universities in Flanders. And then those will get built, and then I'll be in a really solid stead. Because then I'll be able to fully invade with 1st Belgian Army, which is one of my good armies. The 2nd Belgian Army is fully recruited. All right, beautiful. So I think 2nd Belgian Army is going to be kind of a secondary force. They're going to do things like small wars in our puppet states and coastal defense, and then 1st Belgian Army is going to be our main thing. 3 in recruitment. Not sure what that means, but shouldn't be that big of a deal. So how many universities are we actually going to need? Our literacy is 46%. So that gives us a weekly innovation cap of 120 functionally, which means we're going to need 50 is our base, so we're going to need an extra 70, which means about 7 levels of universities total. We're going to have 5 states, so if we build up Flanders to 5, Wallonia to... Wallonia we're going up to 6, interesting. Oh, right, because the industrialists built one. And then we'll do Gelre. We'll probably build at least 1 in Gelre and 1 in Friesland. And that'll make sure that there's sufficient qualifications for all of the industrial buildings that we want to build in those places. So we'll throw those at the bottom of the queue in here. How's Flanders doing for infrastructure? I'm making sure I'm not building a railway they don't need. It's fine. What about transportation prices? Transportation is quite expensive. Alright, so we definitely do need a railway there. Do I want to go to public schools right away? I think the answer might be yes. Can I afford to make the industrialists sad? I think probably. Although it'll be sad -5. Let's do it. They will, of course, try to stop this from happening. Well, they may not. Well, we got a 31% stall chance. They're not going to form a movement, but because they're in the government, they have a 31% stall chance. Shouldn't be too big of a deal. I'm feeling pretty optimistic. My goal, by the way, of doing what we're doing here, and I realized I should probably have explained this at some point earlier, but you know me. My goal is to be able to form... My goal of these conquests is to be able to form the United Netherlands, which I need to have all of this territory in order to do. And this will have benefits for us, presumably. I think we'll get Dutch as a primary culture. Yeah, we'll get Dutch as a primary culture, and that'll be nice. Then we won't have to have a situation where we're goofing around. Depending on how we go, it would theoretically give us... Well, let me see. If I stay at racial segregation, I've got a small North German minority here, and here, and here. What about Holland itself? Holland's got an Ashkenazi minority, but otherwise, no. So, you know, definitely some options. Ooh, there's logistics. Wonderful. And that means we're... Oh, that was spreading to us. So we're on our way to pharmaceuticals right now. And that should be real nice. That'll let us get healthcare, which will be very good. And have we got a legitimate government? We got a mostly legitimate government. We'll see how things go. Boys and girls. Debate over whether the new public schools should have separate classes for male and female students, and perhaps different curricula as well, is causing disagreements over how to implement the new education system. Would anyone question the innate differences in disposition between the sexes, or their divinely ordained roles in our society? How could we expect to raise proper ladies and gentlemen if we make no such distinction in their education? Such ideas are relics of a past age, Catholic Church salty, reduced enactment time, or we should work out two separate branches plus 15% enactment time. Catholic Church is doing fine. Reduced enactment time would be good. Let's go ahead and piss them off a little bit. Again, we're not moving from church schools, which means they're not super unhappy about this, and in fact, they might still have decaying... No, they don't. And there's pharmaceuticals. Wonderful. So that's going to unlock... That should unlock public healthcare. Because I think the only healthcare that's allowed is charity hospitals prior to pharmaceuticals. But that should unlock... well, public hospitals. And private. Let's see. Doing pretty well with these universities. Gonna get started on the naval bases pretty soon. That's a made-up number. Authority is holding. How's Friesland in terms of turmoil? It's, you know, it's going down. It's going down as we increase law enforcement. Hopefully it will continue to go down. And law enforcement's increasing because we're in the process of incorporating the place. Alright, beautiful. So there's fractional distillation. So, at this point, we can safely stop bringing liquor in from the United Kingdom. From Great Britain. Wait, we have our own glassworks, right? Yes, we do. Alright, so we can stop bringing in liquor. And we can turn on patent stills. So what does that do to the liquor situation? It makes liquor very expensive. Interesting. I didn't realize there were so many buy orders. Perhaps one of my cultures is obsessed with liquor. Nope. Just a convenient vice. Well, let's go ahead and set up that trade route again for, well, maybe we won't. Maybe we won't. Maybe instead, we'll build up our food industries to produce the necessary liquor that we need. Because that would be a huge source of profit. I've almost never had a country who had... Ooh, excellent. We're in drafting straight away. There's law enforcement at level 5, and that completes the Metropolitan Police. I've never had a country in which liquor was not ridiculously affordable, so this will be different. The dedicated police force has solved a series of high-profile murders in Brussels, thanks to our investment in their institution. Public confidence in the police is at an all-time high. Brussels by gaslight can be a treacherous place. The papers would have you believe that danger lurks around every corner. But all of that is set to change. With a peeler patrolman on every street, our citizens will be able to stride confidently in the knowledge that they're protected from the criminal element. Medals for all our brave bobbies, 33% of servicemen become more loyalist, or Brussels' finest are on the case, reduced radicals from standard of living decreases. I often go for medals for all our brave bobbies, but I'm on National Militia, so that's only 5 battalions worth of officers, which is like 1,000 dudes. So that would be, 330 loyalists, and that's not that much. So I'm going to go with Brussels' finest on the case instead. By the way, when it says a peeler patrolman, that refers to there was a guy, I believe, there was a guy named Peel, I want to say Robert Peel, though don't quote me on that part, who was the driver of policing reform in Great Britain, and who was more or less single-handedly responsible for creating the what we know as the professional police force. Alright, AntiSwedish League offers opportunity. Anti-Swedish League, you're always offering opportunities. Establish a defensive pact with Denmark. The Anti-Swedish League has offered us an opportunity to establish a defensive pact with Denmark. Their proposal, if accepted, is intended to counter Swedish interests. It was a veiled sort of aggression, one which could, in theory, appeal to both ardent jingoists and those who preferred to mitigate losses. It would force the enemy to respond, possibly drive them towards a reckless confrontation in response to a seemingly benign maneuver. A plan to fight Sweden to the last Dane, one minister remarked. The representative flushed. He had practiced both responses along both lines, but none of them quite fit. We'd be happy to pursue this. This is not in our interests. I'm going to say this is not in our interests. I don't wish to be closer friends with Denmark necessarily, and also they're not super happy towards me. I'm already improving relations, and that's ongoing, but I'm not going to go too far with that. So, we've got a lot of friends. Two Sicilies we're a little bit low with. Oh, Sardinia Piedmont we finished out with, and then Papal States. We'll finish out those two, get them back up to 50. I don't need to be improving relations with Austria at this time. We can improve them with Spain just a little bit more, get them back up to 50. Great Britain we're still rock solid with. Alright. So these have a maximum investment of 30, which is interesting. Turmoil's still pretty high, but we are mitigating the effects using law enforcement, which is also interesting. So, I just got can-do attitude, so I'm checking our armed forces are loyal plus 13. So, can-do attitude. Soldiers are complaining that they have no way to open their canned food. Sure, the food's a bit better, but what's the point if we can't get at it, eh? Some lads use rocks, others knives. The only reliable thing is how bloody annoying it is to eat. Spend some money to develop a way, 1,300 in government expenses, or they'll figure it out, armed forces at -2 approval. I'm going to do the first one. I can pretty readily afford that, and the armed forces being unhappy is not something I want right now. Again, hopefully building up these naval bases will provide us with a little bit more employment in Friesland. I'm having a hard time getting radicalism down. Obviously, suppression is dealing with most of it, but I'm going to have to leave that on until we're basically until the state is fully incorporated. Curriculum disagreements, a stall event. Disagreements within the government about what should be taught in the new public schools have brought the implementation of the reform to a standstill. These classes may have been well suited for the tutoring of noblemen 2 centuries ago, but believing they would serve a broader range of students well in this day and age is outright lunacy. And you mean to say your moderate alternatives would serve them better? You would have the classical subjects phased out in favor of ignorance and poor grammar. Force a compromise, minus 10% enactment chance. Intelligentsia and industrialists both a little mad. Take some time to work out the differences, plus 20% enactment time. Or rearrange the law to create an independent body, 1 setback. I'm going to increase enactment time. I'm never going to sacrifice enactment chance if I can just do enactment time. If I can sacrifice enactment time instead, that's just kind of my way. So, let's go ahead and set art to encourage exports. And we'll see if anyone will buy our art. Looks like they will not. That's okay. Liquor's still quite expensive. Someone is exporting to us right now. That is Bremen. That's okay. So I think, at this stage, we're going to get our textile mills doing craftsman sewing. And we're going to set silk to protect domestic supply. And we're going to bring silk in from France. Who can offer us plenty of silk supply. 63 demand, where we're going to be bringing in 50, and that'll be just fine. So that will create us a bunch of luxury clothes, which are currently quite low in price, but which we might be able to sell on the open market. And more importantly, increased supply increases demand. So more of our wealthier pops are going to start buying luxury clothes. Now that there's... Yeah, see, here we go. We got the number going up. That's very good. 48. Just keeping an eye on this. Again, the longer the price is very low, the more pops are going to want to buy more. If demand continues to stay low, I'll probably start exporting. But as you can see, this number is going up, and I'm feeling pretty rock solid about that decision. Alright, so we're at about 63. Silk is still expensive. I thought we were going to be bringing in 50 from France, but maybe not. And again, we're on protect domestic supplies. There's no tariffs. Curious. Alright, let's go ahead and sell some luxury clothes abroad. Well, could sell them right back to the French, but that seems silly. Let's sell to the Prussians and... yeah, we'll sell some to the French. School organization. The Catholic Church have traditionally taken on some responsibility for the education in Belgium. As the new system of public schools is built, the question of their role in organizing these schools has become central to the reform. The state would still be the highest authority on the priorities of the schools, of course, but there are many administrative duties to take care of on a local level. In any case, Catholic texts are already part of the study plan, are they not? The organizational responsibility should be on the Catholic Church. Reduce enactment chance, stronger Catholic Church. Or we need to build a secular school system from the ground up, increase enactment time. You know I'm always going to go with increased enactment time. I'm going with the second one. Given the choice. So I've basically wiped out the increased enactment chance that I got at the beginning, but that shouldn't be too big of a deal. Let me see, how many days? Yeah, we're at about 120 days, so 3 checks a year. That shouldn't be too bad. How much longer on a truce with the Netherlands? 25 months, sorry, just over 2 years. Shouldn't be a problem. Alright, here we go. So, I'm going to export some luxury clothes to Spain as well. And again, that should keep our clothing markets. Gosh darn it. We're going to need to bring more in, more silk, and we'll get it from the Ottomans. Days of Darkness. The eruption of an eruption of unprecedented records has utterly destroyed the lives of many Dutch East Indies people in the state of West Java. The explosion of the Krakatoa could be heard from hundreds of miles away, and anything that had the ill fate of surrounding the island was immediately devastated. And that day was made night. Those enormous waterfalls of fire cascading down the mountainside, a black cloud, gargantuan. All the birds have long abandoned this field. Years from now I will sit by the fireplace, and the light will disturb me no more. We shall help with all we have, a little bit of government expenses, improves relations, or nature is a capricious creature, 5 infamy. It's not that much, but I also don't need better relations with the Dutch East Indies. Unless I take them as a puppet, which I might. We shall help with all we have. I'm doing it. I'm doing it, friends. We're doing it. We're doing it. We're doing it live. This import trade route of steel is not ideal. This import trade route of luxury furniture. Where's luxury furniture? Luxury furniture is very cheap. I don't need Portuguese luxury furniture, so we'll cut that route. Or British, frankly. Because I can produce my own. Frankly, I could produce more of my own if I wanted to, but it wouldn't be good for the furniture industries. So... oh, cripes, that was a mistake. Those are export routes. Herp, herp, derp. Never mind. Britain, Portugal, have some furniture back. All right. France has proposed a mutual investment rights agreement. You know what, France? Sure. That's just fine. So who else do I want to improve relations with? I could improve relations with the Ottomans. Let's do that. Tuscany, don't have the ability to. Anyone else around the world I have the reach to? I don't think so. East India Company, definitely should. China, don't have the reach. Alright, we're building up these food industries now, and hopefully that'll... Never mind. Alright, so where else can we get silk from? Okay, the French are giving us the silk we need at this stage, so that should be fine. Do we need to be bringing in paper from Prussia? Looks like no. Exporting sulfur to Britain is not productive. Importing lead from Prussia. Do we have our own lead mines? I think we do. Yes. I'm going to put all these mines on nitro, and I'm going to cut the import route for lead. Import route for luxury clothes, don't need that. Import route for glass. Realistically, don't need that. Import route for tea, I'll keep. Our pops need the luxury beverages. Burning ashes. The drop in temperature is caused by the volcanic eruption has ruined the crops of all the nation, and the farmers of Flanders beg for help. No food at home, sir, and not a single root to be saved. Children ask questions, sir. The sky is always dark, always red. I'm hungry, hungry and afraid, my lord, and so am I. They're hungry, hungry and afraid, my lord, and so am I. We can send some food, government expenses. Our states with farms will experience minor crop failures. Or there's something we can do. Our states with farms or plantations will experience minor crop failures. I don't know. I'm going to say send them some food. I think that might be a trap. It doesn't look like there's a difference, but I feel strongly that there probably is. We are going into debt. We've got a lead input shortage, which we should not have, and which is gone. Oh, no. No, it isn't. Never mind. It sorted itself out. We're good. We're good to go. I thought there was an input shortage. There isn't. It's just these lead mines having a dickens of a time. Mines are all productive. If I go to rail transport, I can use less labor. Ooh, is there a... Hanover is having a situation. Got it. The only thing I could get out of this is trade routes, so there's a trade agreement, so I'm not super interested in that. I will let it be. Unless, of course, the majors get involved. In which case, we'll see. But I don't think I'll need that. Bureaucratic imbroglio. We've had 3 stall events in a row. Lawmakers working towards the enactment of public schools have found themselves mired in a particularly complex set of bureaucratic proceedings, grinding the work towards reform to a near halt. The fully developed bureaucratic apparatus compares to other organizations exactly as does the machine, with the non-mechanical modes of production. That is to say, the teeth of its individual gears meet in accord, or its gears will gnash and churn until it eventually breaks. Damn this labyrinthine legal system, increase enactment time, reduce enactment chance, or cut through at least some of the red tape, increase enactment time, bureaucrats become radical, but reduce bureaucracy instead of loss in enactment chance. I'm going with that third one, again, or that second one. Again, it'll take as long as it takes, but, so we have 132 days now. But I gotta keep this enactment success chance up, because I can't let my stinking industrialists stop this from being, from happening. I should probably stop building soon. But I want to get these food industries out because liquor is still quite expensive in my customs union. And I want a lot of liquor being bought because that's going to help do the things I want to do. There we go. Are the textile mills staying productive? They are. They're going to mechanize looms, they'll be more productive. Excellent. Food industries are also productive, that's good. Water tube boiler would not be productive for the furniture manufacturers. It's still a little early in the game for that. How many unemployed pops have I got? I still have 450,000 peasants, so I'm feeling pretty... I don't need to do labor-saving methods right now, but it's definitely something I'll want to look into. Can I sell explosives abroad? I certainly can. The British will buy them. The French will buy them too. We'll set these to... No, we'll set these to Midland. I don't want to necessarily encourage exports for explosives, because those are vital for our mines. So, other trade stuff. We're bringing in dyes. Do I have the ability to produce dyes at home? I don't think I do, but it would be nice if I did. Yep, no, certainly not. Alright, so I will need to bring in dyes, and I'll need to bring in dyes basically until I get myself a puppet or subject power outside of Europe in an area that can produce them. 18 months on the truce with Netherlands. How close are we to the end of the episode? We're about 5 more minutes. That should be fine. Come on, give me public schools. I don't know what. I'm used to this being close, but obviously I've taken so many speed penalties on the enacting public schools thing that I'm no longer that I'm getting off base in terms of recognizing how long it'll take. Extra teachers, advance. Parents who have experience teaching children at home are offering to assist as teachers in rural areas to facilitate the new public schools system. Ask any of my neighbors, and they will vouch for what I've done for the community, despite lack of formal qualifications. Any kids around here who already know how to read or write, I taught. For me, it is the greatest source of pride. It is a greater source of pride than anything I made with my hands. It is fortunate that we already have educated people. Let me see. 20% success chance. Reduce agriculture throughput by 25%. That's interesting. Or we must not let this distract from other work. 10% accurate chance. I'm going to go with 20%. I can live with reduced agricultural throughput for a brief time. What does that do to the price of grain? Alright, I need to bring in grain right now due to this, but I can bring some in from the Danish market and some in from the British. I don't want grain to become too expensive. Briefly. Oh, interesting. The price fell. That's neat. Wonder what that's about. I got a little bit of influence to play with. Do I have declarable interests? I do. I have quite a few interests I could declare. Alright, let's throw some interests around. That's 4. Let me see. Maybe the Horn of Africa. No. Zanj. Because if I can get the Marina Kingdom, that would be nice. Does Marina Kingdom has the ability to produce dyes, don't they? Yeah. Dyes and tea. Ooh. Definitely a good target. Yes. Haha, yes. Yeah, I definitely am putting a bullseye in the back of the Marina Kingdom right now, but, you know, we'll see. We'll see how things go. I'm not going to go buck wild. I'm certainly not going to go buck wild this episode, at least, because I've got a lot to do, and because the Marina Royale is still not hiring as fast as I would like it to be hiring, and I'm not quite sure why. Probably due to the turmoil in Friesland, and generally population being low there. Turmoil remains high, but again, I can get rid of my suppression decree reasonably soon. And that'll be nice. Yes, now we have interest with a bunch of people. Smoke streams. Vivid red sunsets were reported for several months across the country. Fire engines were even called out in Gelre to quench the apparent conflagration. Many artists and academics have expressed their interest in this phenomenon. A blue and sometimes green moon, its flammable luminescence igniting the night with unnatural intensity. White moonbeams shining through the clouds emerge purple and sometimes also blue and green. Lavender suns, noctilescent clouds, a distasteful fascination. Only a painting can capture such beauty, extra arts academies throughput, or academics must ensure we're prepared for the next eruption, extra universities throughput. You know I'm going with universities throughput. I've been building universities like crazy. And on top of that, that's going to increase the strength of my my intelligentsia, which is a big part of what I want. Deleuze, you're a positivist. I don't necessarily want you in charge of that situation. So we'll continue to do what we're doing with the intelligentsia for now. We're at 50% now for public schools, and That has drawn some of the stall chance, but it's also drawn some of the advance chance. Still, I think 52% is rock solid. Oh, first Belgian Army needs a leader. Let me see. This guy is an industrialist guy. He's a Republican. He aligns with the industrialist, defensive strategist, and brave. That seems rock solid. So we'll put him in charge. Hopefully they'll regain their organization. Ooh, psychiatry has been unlocked. Wonderful. A little bit of extra influence never hurt anybody. Let's see. Who do I want to improve relations with? I'm already improving with India. Let's improve with China. Wow. Great Britain already took over all of Dainan. Something destabilizing the region. Japan does not have any mutual interests with us, nor does Joseon, so we'll leave those be for now. Why do we have a man of wars shortage? Rousing speech captivates the public. This afternoon, Willem de Hannens, leader of the intelligentsia, delivered a fiery speech advocating for the enactment of public schools. Making an appearance before the public in Brussels' main square, Willem de Hannens' powerful rhetoric left even his most embittered political opponents impressed. Excerpts from the speech are already being circulated across Belgium, fanning the fires of an already roaring debate. This should ease the path to reform greatly, 15% enactment chance. Where performances like this reflect well on de Hannens and his cause. 10% enactment chance with stronger intelligentsia. I'm actually going to go with the second one. Focusing on a little bit less enactment chance is fine when we're already at 62%. And I think getting the intelligentsia stronger is going to be good for our the health of our nation long term, in terms of our ability to continue to reform the country. That being said, it is about the middle of 1851, and we are getting to the end of the episode. My nerds have had fun. I hope you all have had fun, and I'll see you on the other side.